Welcome, you have reached Imperial Reviews. And today's review is Power Book Through Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 6, The Price of Fame. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. This was a decent episode. And of course, we know this was the aftermath of Fame. Everybody find out Fame. We seen Fame's dead body. So the episode starts off with them mourning Fame at the bar, and we seen the scene where Rock is pretty much saying Kanan gonna want some get back. Lou pretty much saying he do too. She thought he was done with that. He pretty much said, I'll make an exception for Fame. Jessica, Fame's sister, came to push up on Lou. They had a moment right there. So from there, it showed Kanan upset. Rock trying to tell him chill. He need to take a breath or whatever. And he just looked at her. Then you had Unique. I was saying Frank Buscelli. I don't know where I got that name from in the other videos. But it's Phil Russo. Unique went to Phil Russo, pretty much said he needs Phil's muscle and money so he can make his move. He pretty much tell him he already got everything set up and everything in place. He just need him. So Phil Russo pretty much said he can't kill Stefano, but if he make Stefano weak, pretty much Stefano's own people want him killed or whatever. So he pretty much told Unique to reach out to somebody named Akbar in Trenton. That's where he'll find his muscle at. Akbar pretty much tells him, well, my team is not cheap. So Unique said pretty much, Phil, Russo wouldn't have sent me here if he didn't know I wasn't willing to pay. So that took place, but then you had Rock and Marvin. They met up with Terry's brother, David. And, Marvin killed Terry last episode. David's still alive, but he get high. He like to party. He talking about let's do a mixer. And for all we know, he could be trying to set them up to do a mixer so that he can, like he's a CI. He's an informant. So Marvin's dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of emotion this episode. So you got OC goes to the episode where the crew is at Kanan's apartment. We don't know if OC is a short person, an older man, or OC's on the phone with somebody. He's saying it might be heartburn or has some fish or something like that. Pretty much talking about the sniffing and that he's always doing and stuff like that. OC got a little mustache and everything, so we don't know what's OC's deal. But Kanan's upset. OC at one point said they ain't had no work. Then OC came back and said, well, the work is dead now. Kanan pretty much like, what is it? Are we out of work or we ain't? I'm not getting no straight answers from you. So Kanan's so upset, he's not paying attention. He is, but he's not paying attention to OC's, behavior or whatever. He pretty much told everybody if you want to get paid, get me some information. So later on, OC do tell Kanan that it was the guy who famous killed his crew who did it. So that's just to throw Kanan off the trail. But he tell Kanan, and he seen where Kanan goes at the storage unit. But I don't know how he gonna eventually get in that storage unit. But as we could all see last episode, Kanan at the storage unit got a trunk full of cash. So we pretty much gonna figure OC is gonna get that trunk full of cash and steal it and do whatever with it, So from there it goes to Lou at his AA meeting, pretty much talking about Fame's death and basically saying he know what he got to do to, move forward. Then the minute I seen Kanan with that trunk of cash, I said somebody gonna steal it. It just was, the setup was there for him. So Lou went to go see his mom. The mom is pretty much trying to get Lou to do what Marvin wouldn't do, and he pretty much said I can't. And she pretty much said she chose Marvin because Lou was always the sensitive one. Rock was too hard, you know what I'm saying? And she pretty much asked Lou to do it. And I guess they're going to have everybody meeting with her, like they're one last whatever, having a conversation. And she going to be asking them. I hope they don't make it where one of them actually does it. So that'll be whack if they let that happen. But nevertheless, we're going to see. And that was it, mostly scene for her. So then from there, you had Unique show up to his places to get tailored, get a new haircut. That's where he said the comment, "I'm back like I never left," and everything. So just basically saying Unique is back. I can't really see. I mean, there was rumors. We all had the rumors that Unique is Breeze. And nah, it's not. I'm a dead dad. Unique is not Breeze because this was the perfect time for you to let Unique be Breeze, but he's not. He's definitely all Unique. And it's going to be interesting to see if they just killed him off like they did with Ronnie, and they could have just killed his character off right there, but they bring him back only to get killed. I just seems kind of off right there. But nevertheless, from there it goes to Lou and B-Rilla in the booth. B-Rilla's spitting it, but Lou pretty much told him stop. Like, I think you do more. It just sounds familiar. It's nothing that you're doing that separates you from the rest of the pack that's rapping the same. We need something different. We need something, your lyrics is there, but you need to try to go in a different lane, basically. And then B-Rilla pretty much is like, listen, you the one got me out of jail. You got me into this. My lyrics is there. Maybe it's just you. So they had a little pissing contest with each other, and Lou pretty much said, I'm going to step out of this before I do something or get caught up in something I'm going to regret. And then B-Rilla was like, yeah, I want to see that. And then he tapped him on the shoulder and said, you don't. So B-Rilla later in the episode does show up to his baby mom house and with a package, and she's like, is there money in there? Because your baby need Pampers, your baby need, and he's like, I'm trying, it just ain't come through yet. She's like, I thought you're supposed to have like a song out here and stuff. And then he was like, I'm gonna make it happen. So we already know what this is leading to. The minute that record exec told them that he keeps money in his house, he don't put it in the bank, we always knew, all of us just watching this, it was just a setup that B-Rilla is going to later on go rob that man or try to, and something gonna happen. So B-Rilla ended up reaching out to somebody, some OG he know, and tell him about the play. And when he tells him about the play, he pretty much said, I don't know for sure if he don't got security or not, but I know he got money in the house. So you can see this is a bad idea and something going to go wrong. So then it goes next to Stefano, Rock, and the Afghanistan guy. And the Afghanistan guy saying he got to set up a manufacturing company. It's going to take about 2 weeks. And pretty much Rock was serious. She put her numbers out there. Of course, Stefano going to get his cut. And they was all set to do business. He agreed to the terms already. Stefano always liked her for that. So, another thing that I don't know if I don't recall us ever seen. Remember Stefano had that cook that, where they cremate the oven where they cremate. Did we ever see somebody get put in there? I don't recall if we did or not. Maybe we did. I just don't remember. But it'd be interesting if Stefano, the one that gets stuck in there in the end. But we'll see. So from there, you had Juke took Marvin's gun, and she went in a abandoned building somewhere, and she was just having target practice. And Juke is good sharpshooter, so Juke is embracing the chaos. And so Rock showed up to Kanan home. Kanan wasn't there, of course, and so Rock talked to Crystal, pretty much told Crystal, "You're gonna be at my son. You need to keep track of him, pretty much, and he'll listen to you, because basically she ain't listen to me." And so she was like, "Tell Kanan I got some good news for him." So I guess she want to tell Kanan about she got a new connect, putting plays in place, and of course Kanan trying to make his own plays to separate himself from his mom. So that's gonna be a problem too. Then you show Kanan, he's stalking out Freddie, that was his name, Freddie's old crew. See that they armed with guns, they carrying guns or whatever. So he was going to push up on them, but he figured four of them got guns, it's only him. And he pretty much was like, he fell back. So then it shows Lou and Jess. Lou was tempted to drink. He called Jess for come help him. She got ready to drink. Then he said, "Let's get out of here." They went back to the studio. And so, of course, back at the studio, he knocked her down. She took her Jess chain off. She left her Jess chain there. Okoye, I think that's her name, came in the studio the next day. She's pushing up on Lou. And then when Lou, what did Lou say to her? Lou was just, she actually, whose chain was that? And she picked it up and read. She said, "Jess, as in Famous' sister, your ex-girlfriend." So she knew too much information on that. So that happened with that. And so she ended up storming off. But she did tell Lou that the kid that the white kid that was at that talent search event, the mom was willing to let him come through and get in the studio with Lou. Then it showed Kanan finally come home. Crystal was like, "Your mom stopped by and she's worried about you." And she's like, "I'm worried about you too." So she stayed up, just sitting, waiting for him to come in. And he pretty much said, "I ain't do nothing, I ain't gonna do nothing. Let's just go to bed." So it just shows Crystal and Kanan's connection. Then it shows Juke and Marvin having a heart-to-heart about Juke, like all in her head. She pretty much said, Marvin said, "I want you to be like me," but she said, "I'm more like you than not. We more similar than not." So he sees her as a girl, but she's like a boy version of her. She's psychotic. She loves the thirst to kill. Marvin pretty much said, "I want better for you. I want you to be part of me. I want the best part of you is the part you like to kill." He said, "I'm only good for one thing. And the one good thing that I'm good for is bad." And he pretty much told her, like, "I want you to be better than me." But she like, "I'm already here." Like, basically embrace me. Kind of like, if you remember when Tyreek was like, "Teach me the game, Ghost." And then Ghost pushed back on Tyreek and pretty much collared him up or whatever. But he was like, "I'm already here. It's already too late. So it's best to learn from you than me just, floating." So this was like his emotional moment, pretty much like, I'm screwed up. You know what I mean? I'm screwed up. I don't know. I make bad decisions. I'm doing whatever. So Marvin was dealing with a lot of emotion. So he pretty much told Juke, "Give him my gun back." And so she gave him his gun back or whatever. So then it shows Rock speaking to the other Chinese guy that she was dealing with, the older guy, that she pretty much told him, "If you leave me, you gonna leave in a body bag," pretty much. And he pretty much said, like, to protect my family, keep my family safe, I gotta stay in business with you, but it's coming with a heavy heart because I don't want to see no more death. And so Rock pretty much, you just need to worry about being able to take that money. What you gonna do with that money? All that money you gonna get. So she's still building her context, but is she gonna have she gonna have the muscle? So Early reaches out with Marvin, pretty much tell Marvin between his cut and Stefano cut, he barely making that much money with this new spot, and pretty much saying he had a rundown on people that said they made men and they could hold a certain amount of debt and stuff like that. So Marvin pretty much told him, listen, man, that sounds like a you problem. You need to handle it the way you need to handle it. So you already know that's going to be a problem. Remember, Stefano said, I'm putting this on you, Marvin. So you know Early going to do something. He going to kill somebody or some money going to get messed up, either or. But we all seen that coming. No surprise there. And so from there, you had Kanan reach out to Juke. Pretty much Juke was like, I'm ready to put in this work. They found Freddie's old crew at the basketball court. They cornered them in the basketball court. Made sure that they couldn't get away. Juke was firing all shots, shooting at them close, but not close enough to hit them. So they was getting all the information. They all was saying, we didn't do it. We not built like that. We ain't killers, whatever. Freddie was scheming everybody off the top. We wouldn't have did whatever went for him. And so one of the kids said, word on the street is that some dirty cops did it. They heard Fame knew about a dirty cop, and the cops did it. Now, we were all speculating. Marvin was just like the obvious person that we whatchamacallit. And then there was a moment when Marvin was talking to Juke, he had a heartfelt like, yo, man, somebody did my man's like that, I'll be out turning the city red right now. So it kind of like made you feel like, nah, it ain't Marvin. It got that feel like, nah, it's not Marvin. Marvin ain't do it. So when this kid says the word on the street that some cops did it, it goes back to speculation that Howard did it, because he was going to turn evidence on how Howard was a dirty cop and he was involved or whatever. So the people thinking it's not Howard because they just seen him get killed by Rock at the end, but you don't know what he did before then. And he could have got word that Fame, because remember way back in was it season 2, he told Kanan, yo, your boy, don't watch your boy, because if he get locked up, he gonna tell. He's told Kanan that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Howard got wind that Famous was in there about to sing or whatever, made sure he got him out, and then took him somewhere. But whoever it was, they said they tortured Fame before they did it, and then they killed him. So while the kid was pleading, saying that's the information he heard, Juke was ready to go off, but Kanan pretty much said, yo, don't do it, calmed her down, said, let's take his word for it. And so Juke scratching her head like, she's itching, she want to kill. So she went up to the dude, pretty much telling him, listen, if you lying, I'm coming after all your people, and then after that, we coming after you. She was scratching her head like, yo, psychotic, like, yo, I gotta kill, you know what I'm saying? Like on some Joker stuff or whatever. So then you had Luke and Jessica hugging each other. Jessica pretty much said, I'm taking my mom back to LA with me, and we leaving tomorrow. And because Luke was giving her back her chain, and it was just like a heartfelt moment, and you kind of felt like this was going to be the last time they ever going to see each other. And also, she was just telling Lou like it's more to it out of Queens. Like basically, you need to get out of here. Basically, you going to die here type situation. Like you just in here. And she's like, it's a lot of space in LA. One of those type conversations. And two things I'm seeing with this. You're looking at one where you don't think that they'll ever see each other again, and Lou was probably end up dead, eventually somehow. Or two, oh, plus on top of that, Jessica's pregnant. I could see Jessica being pregnant and having a kid out in LA by Lou. She coming back this because of her brother's funeral, and then she link up with Lou. They have sex, and then she get pregnant by him, and she leaves to go back to LA. So I definitely can see that twist right there. Then the episode pretty much ends with Rock coming back home. Her doors is open. For what reason? Maybe they didn't have camera systems and security systems back in the 90s. But Rock shows back home as the world that she lives in, the world that she's part of. There could always be snakes around all the corners. Why don't she got dogs? No type of security system, nothing. But nevertheless, when she gets into the house, Unique is in her house eating butter pecan ice cream, and she got to look like she just seen a ghost. That's how the episode ends. So overall, decent episode. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.